Hello, my name is Tim Sales. I live and work out of Woodland Hills, California. I'd like to first say that you're not going to see glitz here, so please don't expect it. I'm not an entertainer nor an actor. I've created this video as a tool designed to educate people about a business concept that works for people who are willing to put 100% of themselves into something. See, it takes 200% to be successful in business. 100% must come from you. 100% must come from the business vehicle that you've chosen. Business vehicle meaning how you earn your living, how you support your family. I've seen people who relentlessly pour 100% of themselves into a business vehicle, profession, or job, but that vehicle doesn't have the capability to give back 100%. The mechanics of wealth are just not there. But no one has ever fully explained to you why it doesn't work and why it's a waste of your valuable time if your goal is financial success. This video is for the person who is willing to put in their 100%. They're only lacking the right business vehicle, the explanation of why it's right, and the evidence that it does in fact work. Even though I say you must put in 100%, that doesn't mean that you have to work it full time. I didn't. That doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your family time, nor does it mean you have to have prior experience. I didn't. What I'll be talking about over the next hour is a real business, one where a real product or service gets moved to an inline consumer and a solid company gets built. What you'll learn right here has allowed me and an associate to build a $25 million company. Now, a $25 million company has certainly been done before. However, this was done where no employees were required. No accounts receivable, no accounts payable, no overhead, and very little inventory. Recently, I said those words to a business owner who said back to me, "Sounds too good to be true." My response back to him was that a good enough reason to stop looking? He paused for a couple of seconds and then he said, "That wouldn't be very smart, would it?" What I suggest you do is not just watch this information, but study it. What I want to do first is create an equal playing field between people who know how to evaluate a business and those who don't. Because me explaining this business wouldn't be very effective until you understand how to place value to a business. The simplest thing for someone to do when they don't understand something is to go, doesn't work. The way I'll accomplish this equal playing field is to give you 4 main principles to look for in a business. Number 1 is a huge expanding market. If you were the best vinyl record producer in the world, would it matter today? No. It doesn't matter how good you are in an industry that's eroding. Number 2 is a unique and consumable product. I'll cover unique first. If you don't have a unique product, then you compete on price and convenience. Who has the best price? Who's closest to the customer? Yet if you have uniqueness, then people must come to you. Next is consumable. If you have a non-consumable product, you're basically unemployed until your next sell. You want the repeat sales of consumable products. Whether it's every time someone picks up the telephone, connects to the internet, renews a membership, turns on the electricity, or gets to the bottom of a box or a bottle, you want those repeating commissions because it can pay you again and again. Number 3 is timing. Primarily here I'm talking about trends in timing. During all cycles of the economy, there are people who are making money and losing money. The makers are the ones in front of large trends. The losers disregard trends. So your business, no matter what your business is to be looking at what industries are expanding or which industries are about to expand. I don't care how long you've been doing something or how long you've been in school to learn something. Are you in front of trends or not? Number 4 is leverage. I'm going to spend some time on this one. We're not really taught this in our society. We're taught to go get a good education, build a resume, and exchange our expertise for someone's dollars. The problem with that is if we're not exchanging our expertise, we're not making any dollars. So vacation time is costly. A walk around the golf course, costly. Family time, although extremely important, is costly. I'll define the word leverage as an increased means by which to attain something. One form of leverage is investing $5 million and earning 10% interest, which will yield you about 41 grand a month in income. So whether you're enjoying family time or playing golf or vacationing, you're still enjoying 41 grand a month in income. You're leveraging off your money. That's a leverage everyone would love, but very few have it. Let me explain another kind of leverage that's available to everyone, including yourself. Incidentally, if you get nothing out of this videotape than a better understanding of this little simple concept I'm going to explain, you'll have gained something very valuable for viewing it. Imagine, if you will, that you own a company. You employ just one person, me. I work for 8 hours on Monday. You work for the same 8 hours on Monday that I do. Now listen closely. You get paid on 16 hours worth of work because you take a portion of my productivity as income back to yourself. You're leveraging off my efforts because I'm your employee. So theoretically, the more employees you have working for you, the more leverage you have. However, have you ever had employees? If you have, you know that in theory, hiring employees sounds great, but it's very difficult to reach leverage through employees. I've heard it said that if you have one employee, you have one headache. If you have 100 employees, you run an adult daycare center. And the reason being is this: no employee will ever work as hard for your company as you will, because they don't own it. As soon as the boss walks out of the office, it's throw the feet up on the countertop, make long-distance phone calls. When the employee goes to the supply cabinet, they don't grab just one pen, they grab a handful of pens and Post-it notes and paper clips and rubber bands, right? I'm sure you've never done anything like this, but many people do. Here's my rule of thumb for reaching true leverage. If there's one sentence that epitomizes the entire video, it would be this: to have true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain. Only then do you have true leverage. Let me give you an example of this type of leverage. Let's say that I'm a real estate broker and I hire an agent named Robert. Robert goes out and sells a building. Robert earns a percentage of the selling price of the building, and so do I, the broker. Why do I, the broker, earn a percentage when it was Robert who sold the building? Well, I did some of the advertising. I trained Robert. I had the initiative to go get my broker's license in the first place. I put up the risk. I did a lot of things. And so it's valid that I, as the broker, earn my money. But Robert doesn't work for me as an employee. He's an independent contractor. He just hangs his real estate license on my wall. My point here is the broker and the agents have the same amount to gain from the sale of the home. It's totally in the agent's interest to earn more money, which is a form of leverage for the broker. Now I'm going to continue with this broker-agent discussion because I'm not quite done. But I just wanted to stop for a second and let you know that that completes my 4 principles of evaluating a business. Let me recap them. Number 1 is a huge expanding market. Number 2 is a unique consumable product. Number 3 is timing. And number 4 is leverage. If you understood those 4 items, not only do you now know how to place value to a business, but you also have a better conceptual understanding of business than most people do. Let's continue this discussion concerning leverage because it's an extremely important one, as you'll see. There is a flaw in this leverage situation that I've shown you, and it's this. The broker can have multiple agents, but the agents cannot. The broker has leverage, the agents don't. Until the agents do what most brokers dread. What happens when I, the broker, have been real effective at teaching Robert to be a good agent? What's Robert going to want to do in a couple of years? Be his own broker, right? Is this good for me, the broker? No, because as soon as he becomes a broker, 2 bad things happen to me. Number 1, he breaks away from me and I lose him as an income source. And 2, worse than that, he's now my competitor that I trained. He knows all my good stuff. By the way, this doesn't just happen in the real estate industry. It happens in practically every industry. Have you ever heard the expression, I'm just going to work there for experience? What does that mean? It means I'm going to strip them of their knowledge and then go do it myself. If you're a business owner, how many people have you trained who are no longer working for you? How many people have you trained to be your competitors? Well, this gets worse. Let's say that Robert is now a broker right down the street. What will he do now that he's a broker? He'll go out and hire his own agents. And let's say one of those agents is Linda. Linda also eventually wants to be a broker. So she becomes a competitor to me that I indirectly trained, as well as Robert, who I directly trained. And this continues on and on. I actually created a chain of competitors that I trained. What if we did a whole paradigm shift? Here's where this becomes brilliant. Let's say instead I'm going to empower Robert to become a broker. I want him to become a broker from day one. See, the only way that you or I can retain a leader is provide him or her with the same opportunity for growth that we have. Hence, an opportunity where everyone has the same amount to gain. So from day one, I'm going to encourage Robert to be a broker. And when he does, he doesn't break away from me and become my competitor. He shifts from agent to broker, which now allows him to sponsor his own agents. Now, to create an incentive for me, the broker, to always help Robert and his agents, I'm still going to earn a percentage of what he and his agents sell. And shouldn't I? I trained him. I put up the risk and all those reasons I mentioned earlier. Now, the percentage I earn from Robert and his organization should be a lot smaller than when he was an agent, but I should still earn a percentage. That's my incentive to keep working with them. Now, some people look at this and say, gosh, isn't that one of those pyramids? And what's the perception of a pyramid? People at the top make all the money and the people down below do all the work, right? Isn't that the perception of a pyramid? Let me explain why this is not a pyramid and why people at the top don't necessarily make all the money. Let me just make a quick point before I discuss the pyramid issue. It's not the geometric shape that people have a problem with. This geometric shape is probably the shape of your family tree, the shape of our government. To the architect, it's the strongest structure known to man. Every organizational structure in the world is this shape. So the shape isn't the problem. However, that perception, people at the top earn all the money, let me illustrate that for you. Here's a typical corporation. At the top, you have a CEO, which stands for Chief Executive Officer. Does the president earn more money than the CEO? Not normally. How about below the president? Do any of the vice presidents earn more money than the president? No. Let me ask this question, and I want you to really think about it. What would happen if some of the vice presidents of a corporation made more money than the president? Really, what would happen? Talk about total confusion. This whole process is called delegation. Each level of the corporation earns less income. The reason the president can tell the vice president what to do is because they make more money. The reason a middle manager can tell the staff and employees what to do is because they make more money. So the corporate structure is people at the top making the majority of the money, and the people at the bottom do not. The CEO of any corporation earns off the productivity of, or is leveraged off of, everyone in his or her corporation. Whether that CEO personally hired every employee or someone else in the company hires them. So the CEO, and only the CEO, earns on multiple levels of his or her company. And the model that I'm suggesting as being brilliant is where you, the individual, are given that same opportunity to earn on multiple levels of brokers and agents, just as the CEO of a corporation is. From here on, I'll refer to this form of marketing as network marketing. In network marketing, you, the individual, are given the opportunity to earn off the productivity of the people in your organization, whether you personally sponsor them or someone in your organization sponsors them. Remember when I said to reach true leverage, you must create a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain? Well, that's what I've just described. Here's what makes the network marketing structure the absolute fairest structure available. In most network marketing companies, everyone can earn a certain number of levels deep of the organization they build. Everyone in the company can earn that same number of levels deep, like maybe 4 levels deep or 6 levels deep. Let's say we use 4 levels. So if you build an organization to be more productive, then you would earn more money than I would, even if you were in my organization. In the example shown, you would earn on 3 levels I couldn't reach, because everyone gets the same number of levels. There are people in my organization right now that earn more money than I do. Do you know what I call that? Fair. Shouldn't it be that way? I mean, take any structure. Shouldn't the most productive person in that structure make the most money? What does a nice resume or years of seniority have to do with productivity? Nothing. If you bring more profits to a company or organization, don't you deserve more profits than anyone else? You don't normally find a person on the 5th level of a corporation earning more money than anyone else, but in network marketing, it happens all the time. Now, I'd like to show you an interview that I've done with Dr. Charles King, who holds a PhD from Harvard and is a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois at Chicago. who actually teaches network marketing at the university. Dr. King, we're delighted to have you here.
I'm pleased to be here, Tim.
Dr. King, could you tell us a little of your education and your business background?
Tim, I'm a professor of marketing at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I got my bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Texas in Austin, spent a tour of duty with the Exxon Corporation, and then returned to get my doctorate in business administration from Harvard University. More important to this discussion, over the last 6 years, I've been involved in doing research, teaching, and consulting in network marketing.
So coming from such a conservative school, and I know you a little bit and I know you to be very conservative, what caused you to look at network marketing to begin with?
In 1990, we had a major economic recession in the United States. The Midwest and Chicago particularly were very badly hit. As a result, the interviewers stopped coming to campus. We were graduating hundreds of students a semester and they weren't getting jobs. Our alumni were coming back to us, losing their jobs, looking for help, and we had nothing to offer them. Now, I started looking, because of my background in business consulting, at alternative career paths. I went out and I looked at starting your own business, at home-based businesses. I looked at franchising. I looked at direct selling. And in the direct selling arena, I backed into network marketing. Now, I was very cynical, skeptical. Tim, I was negative about network marketing. They don't teach network marketing at the Harvard Business School, and I didn't know much about it. The end result was one of my students who was on the team asked me, "Why are you so negative about network marketing?" I looked at that young man and I said, "Son, I know enough to know I don't want to know any more." That student looked at me and he said, "Professor, if I gave you that answer to that question with no more information than you have, you would give me an F." I turned to him and I said, "Son, you're absolutely right. I have no basis for that conclusion. You just made an A." As a result, we went to the library, we went to meetings, and for the next 6 months, we did due diligence on the network marketing industry. I visited the top companies, I talked to network marketing leaders, I became an evangelist. In 1990-91, we started teaching network marketing in the marketing curriculum at the university.
Wow. Was there any resistance from the dean of the school or the alumni?
As it turned out, our dean at the time was a very entrepreneurial operator. He was looking for outreach programs that we could initiate. I had done my due diligence. We were getting good reviews in terms of student responses. So the dean said, "Maintain your professional profile and let's move forward with network marketing."
What is your view of the industry of network marketing now, and where do you see it going in the future?
Tim, the industry is coming of age. Today, we have computer and management information systems, which makes it possible for a network marketing company to organize a sales force so effectively that we can make a sale in Korea in Korean won, instantaneously convert that Korean won sale into US dollar sale, post that to a distributor's commission account in the United States, and pay that distributor in a week. Never before in the history of this industry has that been possible. So we have gone through a dramatic technological wave in the 1980s, the early 90s. I argue now we're moving into the wave of professionalism, and I emphasize professionalism at several levels. Number one, we are seeing more and more professionals, physicians, dentists, attorneys, CEOs, college professors, going into network marketing. Secondly, we're seeing a completely different attitude on the part of the press. The Wall Street Journal, Forbes, the Chicago Tribune, regional dailies around the United States are giving network marketing very positive press. On the other hand, the universities are accepting network marketing as a legitimate channel of distribution. The University of Illinois Chicago has offered the first certificate seminar in network marketing in the history of the industry. The University of Houston is going to be sponsoring network marketing as part of their outreach entrepreneurial programs. We are seeing more and more community colleges setting up network marketing courses on their campuses. So I see this industry growing dramatically over the next 10 years. So on my view, the industry is absolutely coming of age.
Suppose you run across the super skeptic. What advice do you have for them?
Tim, I would recommend they do precisely what I did. I was a super skeptic. I did my due diligence, I investigated the industry, and I drew my own conclusions. I would suggest to anyone seriously looking at network marketing that they might read a couple of key references. I strongly recommend that you do your due diligence and then begin to define precisely what role you want to play in the network marketing industry. Set realistic expectations. If there is a single cause for failure in this industry, it's the get-rich-quick syndrome, thinking that you can come into the industry and make enormous sums of money with no work. I argue, by contrast, that if you set realistic expectations, you develop a plan of action to guide your business development, you can be successful. Tim, as you can tell, I believe in this industry. For a small financial investment and a commitment in sweat equity, hard work, and dedication, anyone can be successful in network marketing.
And that's coming from a Harvard Business School graduate who was a true skeptic, but through due diligence, he learned the truth. You may be asking yourself, how would I go about finding these brokers and agents? You'd find them from the same place if you had started any other kind of business. If you started a new business and you needed an assistant, a sales rep, a board of directors, where would you go to find them? Maybe you'd go to people you've worked with in the past, maybe family members who are in transition or are frustrated, people who you went to school with. You could also hire executive search firms, get referrals, run ads in the newspaper, on the internet. All of these work for traditional companies, and they work for network marketing also. The way I came into this industry was by answering an ad in the newspaper with a total stranger. But if a friend of mine had called me, I would have gladly built my business within my friend's company, because it doesn't matter to me where I build my company. Is it better to be hired by a company or sponsored in a network marketing company? I want to contrast those two. Let's say that I started a new electronics company and you and I knew each other. I hire you to manage my sales reps, and I tell you that I can pay you $40,000 a year. How did I decide on the $40,000? Is that what you're worth? Or is that my opinion of you? In all honesty, I'm only going to pay you just enough money to keep you there. And you're only going to work hard enough just to keep your job. It's sort of a, we'll pretend to pay you if you pretend to work kind of thing. Here's the important question. Can I offer you a better opportunity within my company than I have being the owner? Do we have a situation where everyone has the same amount to gain? No, we don't. The laws of economics today in the corporate world are this. The owner must maximize his or her benefits by minimizing the employees. That's just the way it is. However, in network marketing, I can offer you a better opportunity than I have. How? Because I'll be helping you build your company. It's in my interest to help you build your company. Network marketing is the most ethical business I've ever seen in my life. And the reason I say that is because my success and your success is forever intertwined if I sponsored you. I can't change that. I can't fire you, nor would I want to. So it's far better to be sponsored into a network marketing company than hired by a corporation. I have with me here Tom Norfleet, President and Chief Executive Officer of a major network marketing company based out of Dallas, Texas. Tom, thank you for being here.
You're entirely welcome, Tim.
I know you've served at the executive level of many companies. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
I certainly can. You're exactly right. Most of my business background was in traditional corporate America. I was a founder and part owner of a publishing company in Waco that is now the largest religious publishing company in America. I was involved with a company called Success Motivation Institute, which was a management development, corporate development company. Spent a number of years in the commercial real estate business, developing office buildings in Houston, Dallas, San Francisco, that type of thing.
How'd you become acquainted with network marketing?
Well, Tim, I perceived an outstanding opportunity when the government deregulated AT&T back in 1985. There was a company that had a contract to bring residential and small business customers to Sprint, and determined that network marketing would be a good way to access that. And I was asked to take over the national marketing assignment for that, and we did that and generated about 2 million customers for U.S. Sprint, recognized then the power of it.
Tom, more and more Fortune 500 companies are using network marketing, as well as startups, as well as new people coming into network marketing. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that, first of all, they're learning that it works. Secondly, they're learning that it's quick. Third, they're learning that it has some real economies of scale. It reaches a lot of people that are hard to reach any other way, and they're finding that it's profitable, and they're smart enough to accept it and to adopt it.
Tom, we hear all the time that network marketing is a more efficient method of distribution. Can you explain that?
Well, probably the focus on that is how quickly you can cover the country with distribution of your product. Any other method of distribution basically involves the opening of branch offices, the staffing of those offices, the location of facilities, the location of warehouses, and that type of thing. Whereas a network marketing organization employs the activities of thousands of people, each with their own business, taking the responsibilities of that. Very, very efficient from a corporate viewpoint.
I've heard a lot of sales reps ask the question, why aren't there territorial rights in network marketing?
Well, Tim, that's a very understandable question coming from their heritage and corporate background. Obviously, when you really understand network marketing, you are thrilled to know that there are no territorial rights because essentially, although they're looking at it and saying, what can I do to keep people out of my territory, what they forget to understand that it keeps them inside their territory and limits what they do. And I think the thing germinates or originates from a misunderstanding of competition. In traditional business, you want a territory because you don't want any competition from your own company within that same territory. The wonderful thing about network marketing is the whole concept of competition is totally inverted and reversed. It's a situation where instead of people competing with you and taking a part of your income because of what they do, it's designed in such a way that if they're in your organization, your downline, the more they do, the more you make. And the more people that you have selling what you're selling, where you live or anywhere else, the more money that you make. You see, corporations, in the normal sense of the word, are trying to keep as much money from the sales force as they can. That's what makes them successful. Now, in network marketing, interestingly enough, it's exactly the opposite thing. A real shrewd, smart network marketing organization is looking for every way in the world they can to get money to the sales organization. The more they can get to that field, the more people can talk about that, the more they can hear about it, the more they can expand, the more their leaders can grow, the bigger the corporation grows, the more profits. It's just exactly the reverse of typical corporate mentality. It works wonderfully for people who understand it and who really participate in it.
That's great. So does somebody have to have a sales background, do you believe?
Well, Tim, any accumulated skill that's applicable to the next task is always a big advantage. No question about that. But a sales background is not all that important. And the nice thing about it is that it's not. The exciting thing about network marketing is that it's a people-to-people business. And people use more of their people skills than they use their sales skills. And I've found that sometimes the most successful network marketing people that I've ever observed are people who really don't use sales techniques and they don't use sales strategies because most people are perceptive enough to see that when it happens and they don't like that. They much prefer enthusiasm, they much prefer warmth, they much prefer belief, they much prefer a sense that the person has a sincere interest in them and what they're doing. And I think human relations skills, and everybody has that. We've been taught that since we were children. That's absolutely all that's essential in network marketing.
Tom, how much are you willing to pay these people to put together this organization?
Well, Tim, interestingly enough, the more, the better. You see, in network marketing, a person gets paid what they're worth, what they contribute, what they bring in. No more, no less. The great thing about network marketing is if you're good, you get paid. And if you're not good, you can learn to be good. You can learn from somebody else. And the reason that people earn so much money in network marketing is because the system is designed in such a way that the principle of multiplication and duplication is working for the average individual. And so that compounding, that ever-widening multiplication and duplication of activity and talent with a compensation plan that's designed to pay upline on a lot of that is what generates these very, very large checks.
So what's the largest check you've ever seen paid out?
Well, the largest check that I ever had anything directly to do with paying out was a monthly check of about $1,250,000. That's not typical. In fact, that's extraordinary, but it's not unprecedented.
The network marketing company is the one who deals with employees. The network marketing company inventories the products. The network marketing company deals with manufacturing, warehousing, pricing, packaging, shipping, research and development, catalogs, brochures, quality control, accounting, government relations, and payroll. We, the distributors, are free to just build. We're free just to be the marketing arm of a company. So why does this work so effectively? I can answer this by asking you a question. Who is the best person to market a product or service? I have found no one in 8 years to disagree with this answer. A satisfied customer is the best person to market a product or service. This is by word of mouth advertising. Think about this. You and 5 friends sit down in a restaurant. Before the waiter comes and asks for your drink order, what are all 5 of you talking about? I took a picture of 5 of my friends sitting in a restaurant to help me illustrate my point. This person over here, Ed, is telling everybody about the movie he just saw. And what does he say about the movie? Oh my gosh, you've got to see this movie. If for nothing else, just the special effects. Over here, David asks Sharon, how much weight have you lost? Sharon says, 14 pounds. It's this new program that I'm on. It makes so much sense. And David says to Sharon, well, make sure I get the name of that program before we leave. While this conversation is going on, Gina gets a call on her cellular phone and opens up this tiny phone and talks. When she hangs up, Ed says, that's a tiny phone. Let me see that. Gina says, yeah, it didn't cost me anything. It came with a program I bought. I know a guy at AirTouch Cellular who gave me a great deal. And Ed says, I'll have to get that guy's name and number. What are all these people doing? Selling. They're selling each other. Yet if you ask each one of them if they're a salesperson, they'll tell you no. Yet the movie industry, the cellular phone industry, the diet industry just got paid because they sold something. That was free advertising for all those industries. Doesn't it make sense to be compensated for what you recommend? The reason by word of mouth advertising is better than any other form of advertising, whether direct mail, television, or radio, is because it's based on relationships. And relationships have what advertising will never have, and that's trust. Here's an example. Aunt Linda gets a call from a telemarketer selling 15% savings on long-distance service. Aunt Linda says, no thanks, I'm happy where I am. The telemarketer's confused. They're like, why can't I give away savings? Trust. That's why. Then Aunt Linda's nephew, Taylor, calls and asks, Aunt Linda, I'm with a telecommunications company that offers a 10% savings on long distance. And Aunt Linda, if you can find 10 people to connect their phones to this service, then you could pretty much have your entire phone bill paid for each month. Plus, it'll really help me in my new business I've just started. Will you switch? No other form of marketing even comes close to that kind of power. Someone once said to me, I feel uncomfortable making money off my friends or family. If you have that concern, who do you feel comfortable making money off of? Probably a stranger. So how do you justify earning money off a stranger? Your justification would probably be, I'm providing a good service or a good product at a fair price. So why wouldn't you offer that to a family member? Put yourself in your family member's spot. Do you think that your friends or family would rather compensate a stranger for the same product or service that you offer? Wouldn't you rather compensate your family member than a stranger? My sister is in the printing business. I say to her, Cindy, if you can match quality and price, I'd rather give you the business than anyone else. That only makes sense.
This is Dr. Ronald L. Schuler. I'm age 61 years old, and I live in Sedalia, Missouri. And I've been in the dental profession for over 28 years and have currently become board certified in clinical nutrition. I've been involved in network marketing since March the 15th, 1991, and it gave me the opportunity to sell my practice and to do the things I want to do, and that's research and nutrition. The thing that I enjoy about being involved in network marketing, it's given me the time freedom and the financial freedom to do what I want to do.
How were you initially contacted to look at network marketing?
By a fellow classmate.
How did you feel about your friend contacting you about a business?
I felt very good about it because I knew that it had to be a legitimate concept. Having known and gone through school with him, that I believed that he would not come to me with something unless it was legitimate.
Now let's move to the big picture. You must be asking the question, how does this little group of products or this service turn into this kind of money? Who's selling all that product? Is this something where I'd be going door to door? Did I get my doctorate degree to go door to door? To answer your question right off, no. We're not going door to door. I've seen owners of some of the most successful advertising companies in the world look in amazement at how what appears to them as a onesie-twosie little business can actually be more effective at penetrating the consumer market than one of their $50 million advertising blitzes. I know of 2 network marketing companies that have reached $1 billion in sales inside of 10 years. Incidentally, to my knowledge, there have been less than 10 companies of any kind to ever do that. And it'll probably explain for you why an estimated 30% of AT&T's long-distance service has been taken because of network marketing activity. I've also read that companies like Gillette, Colgate, Citibank, MCI, IBM, Toyota, Xerox, Texas Instrument, General Motors, General Electric, and Coca-Cola have distributed some of their products and services through network marketing. Obviously, they've figured out how powerful this distribution is.
Okay, my name is Kerry Daigle. I'm 45 years of age. I'm from Opelousas, Louisiana. My former profession has been promotions. I promoted professional boxing in major concerts across the globe. We were very successful in what we were doing before. We did a lot of shows on national TV, NBC, CBS, ABC, ESPN, USA Network. I've been in network marketing going into my 9th year along with my beautiful wife, Mickey.
How were you initially contacted to look at network marketing?
I was contacted by an entrepreneur, a friend of mine, who was a multi-millionaire from another industry. I sent him over to my wife, Mickey, so that she could take a look at what he was doing. Mickey and I had been married 1 month. Mickey had a great job, making about $50,000 a year. So my wife of 1 month took a look at what he had to offer, and she quits a job in 2 days. Well, it frightened the heck out of me. I ran over to my attorney to get more information on the industry. And you have to understand that my attorney was one of the leading and is still one of the leading creditor and debtor attorneys in the nation, listed in Who's Who in American law and creditor and debtor litigation and bankruptcy law. And he knows how to dissect companies. He knows how to dissect industries. And by the time he finished dissecting this industry and gave me the information, it shocked me because he told me, he says, Kerry, your wife's on to something good. You need to pay attention.
I recognize you may have seen this industry before. Maybe you've even attempted it. Or you know people who have tried it and succeeded or didn't succeed. I remember a guy when I first came into the business saying to me, I know someone who tried one of those and didn't succeed. He acted as though that should sway me. Of course people fail. People fail at everything. People failed at my high school. The absolute worst thing you could do in your life is compare yourself to people who fail, because you don't know how they approach the business. Did they come in and do it as a profession, or did they come in and do it as a hobby? My point is, you cannot objectively look at someone's success or lack of success as a determining factor of what you'll achieve. This business is just like everything in life. It is what you make of it. However, it does have something extremely unique about it. I was speaking with a gentleman just the other day and he said to me, but Tim, the average person can't do what you've done. I asked him, yeah, but could the average person have sponsored me? Visualize this. Let's say there's a very average person named Barry Average, who himself doesn't believe he can build a $25 million company. However, because of his tenacity, he sends this video and some product information to someone who is a business builder named Tom Producer. And Tom Producer builds a $10 million organization within Barry Average's organization. See, you only have to be good enough to sponsor a Tom Producer. Barry Average then learns that if he's tenacious and if he just does that enough times, he'll find another Tom Producer. Then one day, Mr. Average, he's not Barry anymore, he's Mr. Average, wakes up and realizes something. He's a Tom Producer, and he always was. That's why this is the greatest business in the world, because it allows the Barry Averages of the world to realize they are the Tom Producers of the world if they just have tenacity. Hands down, the personal growth rewards exceed the financial rewards by a long shot. What this also allows is the very busy professional a way to supplement their income and have the opportunity to sponsor or have someone in their organization sponsor a Tom Producer, which gives them choices. The real question is, can you do this and be successful? I don't know you, but I think you can. How'd you get good doing what you do now? You just kept doing it until you got good at it. If when you get started with this, you find something that you don't feel you're good at, change it. Find books on the subject. Find college courses. It's a lot easier to learn a skill than it is to run from that skill and try to find an industry or job that you don't need that skill in. Face what you're not good at and change it. Confront it and beat it. Think of this. If you went to work at a normal job paying $30,000 a year, and the company you work for came to you and said, if you learn this particular software program, we'll pay you an extra $5,000 a year. Would you learn that software program? What if they said we'll pay you another $10,000 a year to teach that software program to other people in the office? Would you? Probably. How would you do it? Whatever it took, right? Then, what if the company said, we'll pay you an extra $50,000 a year to put together teams of people to train other people on the software? Would you? Well, that's it. That's all this is. When I first got started, I was a Navy underwater bomb squad technician and had zero communication skills. I can't see how my friends survived my approach. It was awful. I did the business part-time for about a year and a half, and I had a lot to learn. But I already knew either you have excuses or you have results. You can't have both. I'm going to be blunt if I haven't already. You're already spending valuable time right now getting good at something. Shouldn't it pay you a huge income and give you total time freedom? You're wasting your talent by selling yourself short and working for somebody else's dream. I looked at this industry and said, sure, it's hard. Everything's hard. But it's harder to not have what you want all your life than it is to just get the hard out of the way. By the way, if you're the kind of person who needs everyone's approval before you can do something, you probably won't get it. How many truly wealthy people do you think got wealthy with everyone cheering them on? Better yet, anyone cheering them on? Probably none. In Napoleon Hill's classic book, Think and Grow Rich, his research revealed that fear of what others would think was one of the top reasons people didn't achieve financial success. In my own research, I've found that if you actually make a list of the people's opinions you're worried about, it's normally less than 5 people. Could you really allow 5 people to stop you from having what you want for the rest of your life? Plus, it's normally not even true friends, because if it were true friends, you wouldn't fear what they'd say or think, because a true friend would never discourage you from anything. They'd only encourage you. Believe me, I had my share of people who wanted to protect me, but I knew none of those protectors were going to pay for my child's education or my retirement or the things that I wanted out of life. One other thing, please don't base your perception or decision on outdated information. Just because you've seen this industry before or even tried it before doesn't mean it hasn't completely changed. I've met hundreds of people who had seen network marketing, even done network marketing 1, 3, even 20 years ago, who have rejoined a company and made a lot of money with it. Today, network marketing companies are making so many dollars available to distributors that it has now become a true profession. The reason so many people are coming into network marketing is because people want control of their life. They want a quality of life, and network marketing offers that. I hear people all the time complaining that they're too busy or don't have enough time. People act as though time owns them instead of them owning time. What do you mean, not enough time? That's the only fair component in the equation of life. See, not everyone starts with the same intellect. Not everyone starts with the same amount of money, but everyone has the same amount of time in a day. Have you ever noticed that there are people who, with 24 hours, earn $10,000 a year? And there are people in the same 24 hours who earn $10 million a year? Let me explain the difference. I've heard people say this phrase, "It's easier to just do it myself than try to get other people to do it." Whenever I hear that phrase, I know that person just nailed their feet to the floor. All they can do is expend their time, not invest their time. Here's a secret. Wealth is hidden from those who must do it all themselves. Wealth exposes itself to those patient enough to train others. When you understand the power of educating and empowering others so that you get more done, you're truly on your way to wealth. Now, With that understanding of the importance of training others so you get more done, look at network marketing and you'll see why I call it brilliant compensation. In network marketing, you're actually making yourself unimportant to the creation of your income. Because in network marketing, what you teach and train others to do is duplicate what you do, which is to find and train others. This is actually multiplying you because you're teaching them to sponsor and train other people. That's why I say, next to your spiritual growth and your family, there is nothing in the world you can do that will reward you better than investing your time in network marketing. Let me illustrate something to you that is so profound. What's the maximum number of hours you could work in a day? 24 hours, right? So if you didn't sleep all day, you could work 24 straight hours. What if you didn't sleep for a whole year? You could actually work 8,760 hours in 1 year. But that's the maximum number of hours you could work in a year. Now, I want you to remember back when I explained to you that I have 56,000 people in my organization worldwide. Well, let's suppose that all 56,000 people work just 1 hour out of a year. 56,000 people times 1 hour each equals 56,000 hours of work that I'm being paid on. Well, for most people to earn on 56,000 hours of work, they'd have to work for over 6 years, 24 hours a day without sleep to put in the same amount of hours that I could in 1 hour a year. Let me throw in something really ridiculous. Suppose all my 56,000 people worked 1 8-hour day in a year. 56,000 people times 8 hours is 448,000 hours I'm being paid on. Well, it would take most people working over 51 years, 24 hours a day, to do what I could do in 8 hours a year. 8 hours in 1 year versus 51 years working 24 hours a day? Doesn't seem fair, does it? It's definitely not fair. What's not fair is that you haven't understood this until today, and other people have. But now that you understand it, take responsibility for it. Don't go running and try to create reasons why you can't do this. You can do this. I don't say any of this to impress you. I don't need to impress you. This is an educational-only video. My purpose in creating this tool is to contribute back to that woodpile that so generously gave to me. I say all of this only to impress upon you that the difference between the wealthy and everyone else is leverage. You've got to understand that, and nothing gives you, the individual, leverage in such an ethical way like network marketing can. You want enthusiasm back in your life? I'll tell you how to get it. Send this video out enough times to find 5 motivated people. Teach them how you did that. Then when they fire their boss, you'll be surrounded by the most enthusiastic people in all the world because you had something to do with them getting their freedom back. Then your life will be sheer ecstasy because real happiness can only come from helping other people do great things. So go get a legal pad of paper, write down what you really want in life, then call the person who gave you this video. Tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. C is, see you later, no thanks. That's fine with us because your relationship with the person who gave this to you is more important to us than anything. Or you're a B. A B is I may be. I want to first explore the product. If that's you, then do that. Don't procrastinate. The #1 killer of financial success is procrastination. People just putting it off until tomorrow, and they've somehow convinced themselves that they'll actually do it tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about. As soon as I'm done with this project, then I'll have more time. Or as soon as little Jimmy gets back in school, then I can. And they never do. Don't let that be you. Get your product today. Or you're an A. And that means absolutely. No, you don't have all your questions answered, but you see enough to start and begin your training. Very well done to you in your ability to make decisions. If it's late at night and you've just watched this, don't be concerned that the person who gave this to you is sleeping right now. They'll be up. If they're not, wake them up. Tell them, hey, now that I understand this thing, I can't sleep. And if I can't sleep, you're not going to sleep. Believe me, they'll appreciate that call. So call that person and tell them whether you're an A, B, or C. That's it. Join us. You'll be glad you did. Now is the right time, the smart time. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope it's been educational to you. What I really hope is that you'll put this information to good use. I look forward to working with you should our paths cross. I'm Tim Sales.